So, thank you.
Thank you very much. So, as I said, my name is Jogenfors. I come from Sectra Communications. Sort of share a bit of my background also. This is a picture I took all the way back in 2005. I was just 16 years old. I made an internship at ABB. This is actually ABB in Bangalore in India. But I've been working in the industry, ABB and Bombardier, other places. These are the familiar AC800M controllers. Then I went to university. I wrote a pen test report in the form of a 300-page book where I pen tested and broke quantum cryptography systems. And for that effort, someone gave me a hat, or I should probably say I bought the hat myself. It was quite expensive, like 5,000. And then afterwards, I joined this awesome team at Sectra. We're based in Linköping. This is the Sectra Communications Department. And as said, we do highly secure mobile communications and critical infrastructure security. And how I got started in digital forensics was during my doctorate time. I started to spend time looking at Bitcoin and Bitcoin transactions, and I helped law enforcement. These are some examples here of Bitcoin transactions. When you look on the raw blockchain and see transactions from different addresses and different amounts, you can get a lot of data out of it if you do the research correctly. So then I learned that digital forensics can give you a lot of information if you just look in the right place and look for the right needle in the haystack, because there's always a lot of data to go through, but with the right tools and methods you can do good work. So industries are now highly digitized and industrialized. We have complex processes and systems going on, and these systems are now connected to the web. It used to be back in the 90s that site manager could say, oh, it's okay, my system is secure, no one will hack it because it's not connected to the web. It's no longer the case. As we all know, more and more plants are connected to the web and gives us more and more security challenges. We have new regulations and laws that give new challenges for operators. Also, more cybercrime and hybrid warfare activities going in, and the systems become more complex. We rely on external and internal dependencies, cloud providers, and so on. In my talk on digital forensics, we will be talking about not just industrial control systems, but also digital crime. I have some numbers here from Sweden. For the first half of 2019, there were 752,000 reported crimes in Sweden, and that's all categories. And from 2006 to 2015, we can see a 10-fold increase in IT usage in crime. So criminals have been moving into using mobile phones and computers as a part of their criminal operations. Of course, we all use phones now, we all use laptops and computers. Puts a lot of work and new methodologies that we need in forensics when we want to investigate, when we want to find the correct evidence, to go to court and to prove what has been happening. Another number from the UK is that cybercrime accounts for about 53% of all crime. That's quite a high number. And there's no reason not to think that this applies to countries like Sweden as well. And it's the so-called Locard principle. It's a basic fact of forensics, that the perpetrator of a crime will bring something into the crime scene and leave with something from it. This principle still holds now in the digital era. Whenever someone breaks into our systems, they will bring something into the crime scene, leave some traces on their own, and take something from the system. We just need to find what was taken and what was put in. In digital forensics, we have several goals. We want to identify that an attack is happening. We want to protect our assets. We want to detect what is currently happening. We need to respond to strengthen our systems, and then also recover and get back to normal operations. These are several steps. We all need to strengthen them to have a completely working security environment. For instance, let's look at if we have time on this scale and cost for an incident on this scale. We all like to talk about the Norsk Hydro incident, don't we? But as an example here, this was discovered quite late. The discovery was made only when the computers were actually ransomwared and stopped. So quite a late discovery, which led to a high cost for incident. The Norsk Hydro accident cost around 300 million Norwegian kroner in just the first week. In another example, we have the Ukrainian power grid accident, or power grid incident. The attack started quite early, already in June, and the outage was in December, so it was in 6 months between the intrusion and the actual attack. So an earlier detection could have prevented a lot of cost in both of these incidents. It's funny, if you look on the video when the Ukrainian power operators see their screens moving by themselves and they cannot move their mice or keyboards, they're just locked out. And then someone in the video says, "Oh wait, we have to call the IT guys, this is not good." And then another guy says in the background of the video, wait, what if it is the IT guys doing this, right? So trying to determine what is actually going on is an important first step in all attacks. I'm here today to present the Digital Forensics Competence Center, and it's a new initiative that we are starting up in Linköping in Sweden. We consist of 2 universities, Linköping University and Halmstad Högskola. 1 governmental agency, which is the Swedish Police and the Swedish National Forensics Center. The National Forensics Center is also based in Linköping. 1 research institute and several industrial parties, including ourselves at Sectra. Linköping is, of course, this beautiful city. We're currently up here in Stockholm. Linköping is a very highly technical city with a very technical university. Lots of companies like Saab and Ericsson, Sectra and others. I also like this picture because this is where I live, in Jönköping, next to the big lake of Vättern. So Linköping is a strong region when it comes to IT and technology. That's why we're basing it there, because we have universities, we have industries, we have government authorities. I also want to bring up one challenge when it comes to doing research in ICS security. Anonymity. We cannot just take data straight from the plant and do research on it and publish it, because that is too identifiable. Our customers at Sectra, our critical infrastructure customers, they don't even want us to talk about who they are. So we cannot just publish water plant information and put it online, because then you can identify which plant it is and who they are. So we need to anonymize the data somehow, but it's quite difficult, because when we anonymize too much, then of course it will be too anonymized. It will be useless for research. We cannot get anything out of it. So it's a hard balance to find there between too identifiable and too anonymized. It's a challenge when we do research and improve our methods. But how do we do this then? Well, in the Digital Forensics Competence Center, we see the importance of cooperating together. We have academia, we have the industry, and we have the government, and they all need to work together to bring in new methods and new technologies for the future. Our vision is to strengthen the capabilities of Swedish agencies and private actors to prevent, investigate, and solve crimes by exploiting and evolving the field of digital forensics. So at Linköping University, where I happen to work also, I spend 60% of my time at Sectra as research manager and 40% at Linköping University as a postdoc in quantum cryptography and information security. So we have some really strong players in this competence center, the Department of Electrical Engineering, which is the place I work, also the Department of Computer Science, lots of knowledge and research into software and security, and also the governmental research institute called RISE, which is a Swedish state-owned governmental research agency with representation in all over the country. Strong player in research field. So let's look at the timeline of our competence center. Some short-term goals. We're starting up a new study profile in digital forensics at the university. So students can come and apply to the university on the bachelor or master level, and already then know that they can study digital forensics as a subject. I'll talk more about education and recruitment later on. We'll start up our first 2 projects and add 2 new adjunct professors in digital forensics at Linköping University. Then for a midterm goal, we have not fewer than 8 doctoral students. We want to have 20 publications in basic research in digital forensics. On the industry side, we hope to have 5 patents and 1 spin-off company from our study. Then for the longer term, we of course don't know so much about the future, but our goals here is to have strengthened the national and international core competencies, to be presenting at conferences and to collaborate with industry and other countries, and also 2 more spin-offs on the 10-year scale. So we want to facilitate networking and interaction between our partners. That's a core goal of our cooperation. We want to consolidate Sweden as an international player and collaboration partner within digital forensics. And we want to be a provider of services and tools to develop our new platform, and as a leader in driving the technology. Of course, there's be a lot of funding involved. We have already secured a lot of money for the project. 1/3 is coming from us, the industrial partners. Another 1/3 is from funding agencies. We have applied for funding from different funding agencies, and it's an ongoing project. And also 1/3 of the funding will come from our universities. And we know how to do this. For instance, at Sectra, we've already started up 15 years ago, the Central for Medical Image Science and Visualization, which is a leading fusion of clinical science and research within clinical and medical imaging. And we want to model our project in digital forensics on this successful project. You can see an MRI machine here and how we handle the imaging from it. That's another part of Sectra's work. But we can show that we have done this, and we know how to do these kinds of projects in the future. As I said, I work at Linköping University, and aside from my research work, I also do teaching. I teach students in cryptology and in information security. We arrange capture the flag events for students so they can practically learn and teach themselves more about security work. But as we all know, in information security, it's really hard to find skilled people. Especially in the Swedish job market, there are so few universities actually teaching these subjects, and the few people who actually come as graduates, they are immediately sucked up to companies, and there's a big shortage of skilled people. So an important part in our Digital Forensics Competence Center is to increase the number of students that we can produce and increase the knowledge. And we want to really promote digital forensics and information security as an interesting career option. I always tell my students, it's a great field to work in, information security. They're young students, and for their whole career, I tell them they will never worry about having a job. It will always be an interesting field. Of course, you have to learn a lot and have to stay focused and have to learn new topics as they come along. But there will be no shortage of exciting challenges in this field. Nothing that will be replaced by AI anytime soon. So we want to secure a long-term supply of skilled graduates for the future for our companies and for the industry. So to conclude, digital forensics is really essential. When we do cybercrime and we investigate this, we nowadays have to take care of mobile phones and decrypt them and to bring the evidence into court. That's a core competence for the National Forensics Center in Linköping, also for our new Digital Forensics Competence Center. There are several players on the market. We have academia, we have industry, we have government. I didn't mention military because that's not part of the FCC, but it's still an important player in the field of digital forensics. And my main message today, even though it's quite an overview talk today, we don't have so much to report yet as we're just starting up. I hope to be reporting back maybe in the next CS3 conference, but cooperation is key. And if you want to get involved, just contact me. Here are my contact informations and I also have a Twitter handle at Jogenfors, at my last name. And I guess my talk was quite short today, but thank you for your attention, and I would love to have some questions.
Do we have any questions? I have a question.
Yes.
So you mentioned that this was, you say you invite people to cooperate, but it seemed very Swedish when you were earlier. Do you intend to include international organizations, or is that door shut?
That's a long-term goal. Still, we need to focus on the region of Linköping, because that's where our core competences lie, and we need to start locally.
Okay.
But for long term, yes, of course. We want to establish mainly Sweden as the
very
region goal, but yeah, we should definitely talk more.
Any questions from anybody else? All right. Thank you then.
Thank you.